Yo, this thing on? How's everybody out there doing today? I want to welcome y'all to SolutionBasedPodcast. It's your boy Edna Snave. Um, the reason, let's get into a little bit of reason why I wanted to start this and the reason I call it Solution Based Podcast. Basically, because we live in a world where everyone wants to discuss the problems of the world, which are fine. That's cool. But it puts us into a complaining state, which is energy draining. Why not put a lot of that energy to we write down the problems and then find a solution to these problems? But I think that's a part of one of our problems. We don't look for a solution. A lot of times we just want to be in a state of complaining so we'll have something to talk about. Because most of us don't want to put in the time to find a solution to fix something. But it's important we change our ways moving forward. There's a lot of things that need to be changed. And yes, this is just my opinion, but this is just what I have noticed in all my years on the planet. And I know the biggest problem is division. Getting everybody to come together will be the solution, but I'm not sure how to make that happen. But I figure out this is one way to start and get it little by little. I just need to see how many people's gonna walk with me. It's very disturbing where we're at right now. And I think people just want to live, so they're going to ignore the urgency of what needs to happen. All you have to do is a little research. But that'll take away your peace. There have been people over the years who have warned what they would like to call the sheep about what's coming, how it's going to happen, where the plan is at, how you can find it, how you can research it. Yet, there's a lot of people who chose not to listen, and yet, here we are. Surprise, surprise. They want more from us, but yet they disguise it as they're doing it to reduce spending. I just wish people could see it for what it is. Your peace is going to be disrupted one way or another. If you continue to let things go the way they are, it's going to be a huge problem in the next 10 years. Shit, 5. The corruption. The cards have been dealt. It's right there in front of you. Everything is being laid out in front of you on a platter. Take it. There's nothing you go do about it. You'll just continue to try to live your life. It's very interesting. How life has controlled all of us in so many ways. Well, the system, should I say. Controlled our way of thinking. control what we eat, drink, how much we pay, where we should live. It's crazy that corporations buy homes, then rent them out. And that they'll tell you that it's all these people moving in. This world I love it. It's beautiful. That's how I have to look at it every time I wake up. The world is beautiful. The trees growing and the grass, the insects, the animals, the families, the love, the air, the sky, the clouds, the sun, the moon. All beautiful. But the human desire to rule over humans, or the human desire to own all that is to be owned, I don't grasp it. I shall never understand it. We live in a world where there's more than enough. It's more than enough. But it's more that they want. Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Keep us a billionaire and the system keeps going, shoot. Why try to change it? Matter of fact, let's change all the rules that protect the people from people like us. Let's get rid of all of them. Yeah. As soon as we sign that, we're going to make executive orders where I can fire all these mofos. It's a corporate takeover. It's a hostile takeover, actually. Let me fire all these government employees, even though that's just 3% of government spending. Let me hire and bring on somebody who we pay $8 million a day. I guess that makes sense, huh? You already pay him $8 million a day. Least he can do is just come, consult a little bit. Maybe he knows something. Or maybe y'all just fucking stupid. Sometimes I don't want to be a stick in the mud and be like this. But it's like since I was young, I could feel that there was something wrong with so much that was around me. School, people having to go to work, always having to pay for every single thing. And you had to worry about church. You're giving money to the church. Never understood that. Never still questioned it. Never truly had an answer. So my intuition with that one was right. So many things. Religion, how it truly causes division. It doesn't. If we're supposed to be under one God, people are willing to go to war for their beliefs, even though if it goes against their God's teachings. And if you do have a God that's teaching war of people who don't go against his name, that's probably not a God you should follow. How do we get here, man? Sit back and think about that all the time. How do we get here? Why do we allow ourselves to be so manipulated? No, I think there's been people who've seen it, but there just hasn't been a movement big enough, because anytime you fight the system, when the system starts to see a little bit of change, they go cut the snake off. They go cut the head off the snake right away. That's one thing that's been repeated over time in history. Anytime who's about to go against that grain, or their movement goes against the grain, they can't be swayed. Strong-minded, smart, good speakers. Yeah. All gone. All gone. Somehow, some way, they will take away your voice. That's wild to me. We know this as a people, but yet we do nothing as a people. There are people fighting, but I'm willing to bet that percentage of people who's probably fighting, it would be hard for me to say 20%, and that's on the high side. And it's probably 3% of people who are willing to put their life on the line. And since that, throughout history, there's been shown that would happen, and that's what could be done, people are less likely to stand up against or start a resistance. So is there any point of fighting the system? Or should the goal be separate ourselves from the system? I think that's a good question. Should we continue to try to fight against the system, or should we separate from the system? What would it take to separate from the system? Land, first and foremost. So then if it's land, we would need funds to purchase that much land, depending on how many people want to chip in and where we can buy the land. But first, it would be finances. You have to develop a pot amongst the village. Have to buy land. We have to identify how much land before we buy land, we got to identify how much land we need to support hundreds of people. Because now it's just land for farming, it's also land for shelter. So we would of course need farmers, electricians. I don't even know about truly electricians. I mean, if we can build places with fireplaces and ways to keep out the wind and keep a fire going, dim light should be okay. That's a lot to think about. What would it take to separate ourselves from the system? I could use some help on that one too, because I know I'm going to miss a lot of things. And if you were to fight the system, what would be your approach? What would be the approach to fight the system? How can we go against billionaires if they have all the resources or have access? They might not have them right in hand, but definitely have probably access to it. How do you combat that? I often wonder. Well, that's enough food for thought for me. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's just some random talk, random thoughts. Just what be going through my mind. We got to find a solution to these problems, day in, day out. reach out to me. Let me know. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let's have a conversation. Till next time. At Snave, we out.